Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Santa Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, and it is another brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer? And hey, guys, we're both here. We survived the Great Gingerbread War, and I'm really excited because, a couple of years ago, your boy got defeated, but I came back stronger than ever because I have such a unique team that joined me during the Great Gingerbread War. And today's guest up here on Who's That Cosplayer is somebody that I really want them to stay away from my daughter Jolene, and that is Moody Macabre. Moody, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm really happy to be here. I'm really excited for this, and I'm just really hyped. Have a great day.
Hey, I'm excited that you're here. I really love your Anasui cosplay, and I can't wait to jump into this interview. So everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And as D always says, podcast link down below in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So Moody, let's go ahead and get into this interview. The first question that I ask each and every guest up here is, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. So tell everybody who Moody Macabre is.
So I don't even know where it sort of began. I just remember from as early as I can remember seeing cosplayers and seeing people do like these amazing cosplays and thinking, oh, that's something I would love to do, but I don't think I'll ever be good enough. It's probably something I'll never actually get round to. And then I feel like it's a lot of people's stories that over lockdown had a lot of time to myself, and I was like, do you know what? This is something I've wanted to do for so long. I'm going to take my time to do the things that make me happy and get into it and just kind of give it a go. And then I loved it and just kept going. I find it, the franchises that I love, taking the characters that I love and just getting to dress up and have fun.
I really love that. And, we both love the same franchise, a particular series. I talk about it so much up here on Who's That Cosplayer and on the podcast, and that's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yeah. Now, we're going to talk about some JoJo stuff during this interview, but I got to ask you, you said that it was the lockdown, you were seeing cosplay and whatnot. And what was the first cosplay that you cosplayed as? And it was just like, this is my entry into the world of cosplay.
It was from Danganronpa, and it was Celestia Ludenberg. I kind of got the fit all together. I finally learned how to put contact lenses in, which took a long time, but I kind of put it all on for the first time, looked at myself and went, oh wow, I'm actually doing it. This is cosplay. And that was it, and it all went from there.
It just kept on snowballing, and the snowball just kept getting bigger. It's crazy that you said that you had put in contacts and whatnot, and I'm sure it's easier now, but I was literally just talking with my friends earlier about that. I'm one of those type of people where I'm afraid to put in contacts because I'm afraid that it's like as soon as I put it in, like it's gonna go to the side and then it's gonna roll into the back of my eye. And another thing with me being a professional wrestler, the last thing I would want to do is be wearing contact while I'm wrestling, and then like I get punched in the face and it's just like down the contact, it explodes. And I have a very creative imagination on like stuff that's gonna happen. So
I was exactly the same. Don't worry.
So it's like, you did the cosplay from Danganronpa, and then, just seeing like all of the cosplay that you've done so far, and y'all see it back here in the slideshow. It's a lot of JoJo cosplay and whatnot. I gotta ask you, give me your top 3 favorite cosplays that you've done so far.
Oh wow, this is a brand new one. So this is like literally I got it the past weekend. This is like my second time putting it on, and this has already made it like up to my top 3 easily. I have a lot of fun. It's really comfy. I feel really good in it. I have to put a Bakio up there. I adore a Bakio with my whole heart. He was kind of another one where, like, even though I'd started cosplaying, as soon as I did that cosplay, I looked at it and was like, okay, this is something I'm very proud of. It feels really special to me. And probably, I love Diablo. I have a lot of fun with Diablo. As you've got a lot of different outfits you can do with it. You've got his boss suit and then his regular little spindly top that he's got.
Mm-hmm.
Those would be my top 3, I'd say.
Yeah, and it's crazy that you said him, and then it's just like you're cosplaying as Anasui, because the first time that I had saw both of them was when I had played JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Eyes of Heaven, and I was just like, are they the same person? Like, why did Araki make both of them look just alike? Even the outfits and
Exactly.
whatnot.
Yeah, I remember I saw Anasui in the Stone Ocean trailer and was
Yeah.
like, is this just another death loop that we're seeing? Is this what's going on here?
Yeah, no, it's crazy, but I will say that I do like Anasui. He grew on me. You know, Stone Ocean, it just came to an end recently, and it was a very sad ending. And you know, now I want to talk about some JoJo stuff because I want to get back to the cosplay stuff, but you know, this interview is gonna be full
JoJo
of
finds
JoJo
a way.
stuff. Yeah, it always finds a way. Now, I gotta ask you, like, what were your feelings about Stone Ocean? Like, were you already a fan of it before it got animated, or did you watch it like everybody else did who didn't read the manga, and you just watched it, you enjoyed it, and you cried at the end? Like, share your thoughts with everybody.
So I only got into JoJo about just over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. So by the time I had caught up with Golden Wind, it was announced that Stone Ocean was going to be animated. So I was like, oh, do you know what? I'd like to read the manga, but I'll wait. I'll wait for the anime and I'll kind of have the anime experience and then I can go through the mangas afterwards. So I was fresh to it. I unfortunately couldn't avoid spoilers that much, so I did know, I knew how it was going to end. I knew it was going to be very sad. And but yeah, getting to see it animated, seeing certain things I didn't know how exactly it would go, was a lot of fun. I knew of like Rap Jolene and was like, I have no idea where that's come from, but I'm very excited to see it. And then it happened. I was like, oh, this is not what I was expecting at all. But yeah, the ending came around. It was heartbreaking for me personally. The sad part was sad. Saddest for me was the outro where they reused Roundabout.
Yes. Oh my God.
It really just hit me there. I was like, oh, it feels really full circle, you know, Roundabout. It's going straight back to that beginning, and that really hit for me. I was like, oh, this is sad.
This is it. And like, I remember, like, I was watching it and I was just like, are they really playing Roundabout? And I couldn't believe it. And I was just like, man, this is it. Like, I had called my my co-host Rebellious D, and I was telling him, I was like, bro, I just finished watching Stone Ocean, and I said, look, there's no more Benjamin Banks. There's no more Rebellious D. The world has been reset. There's no more leveling up with Benjamin Banks. And I told him, because it's like, he's not really into JoJo, but I was just like, man, like, being a huge JoJo fan and then seeing that outro, it just really made you think, like, man, like, this is it. Like, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is over, even though, you know, you have the other part. Well, we don't know when they're going to be animated, but it was just, it just really felt like, man, like, I can't believe that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is over. This universe is over.
It felt very final. It felt kind of like, this is it. We're wrapping up the Joestar storyline, and it was just real sad to see that call back to, you know, like, just Jonathan and Danny straight away. I was like, oh, Danny, I'm sure will hack and make me. Yeah, it was so sad.
Man. And you know something too, a lot of people don't notice because a lot of people never read the manga. I like in Phantom Blood that Dio, he talks to George Joestar, and George tells Dio like the relationship between Danny and Jonathan. Did you read the manga for Phantom Blood? Yeah, and I love that, you know, they tell that Danny didn't like Jonathan at first, and then Jonathan saved his life, and then after that it was like Danny ended up saving his life because Jonathan was about to, and it's just like they became best friends, and like that's the reason why Dio was just like, okay, I'm gonna kill Danny. But they don't have that in the anime.
I know. It's like it's a nice little chunk that would have been nice to have in there. That little detail that manga brings.
So, you know, now I gotta ask you, because we're sitting here talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. What JoJo part is your favorite?
That's so tough, because I feel like I have two answers. In my heart, I want to say part 5 because I adore the part 5 characters. They are the ones that I go back to the most. I think of the most, kind of. I absolutely adore them. But there's just something about part 4. I adore Josuke. I think he's great. I think Kira is an incredibly well-written villain. Just that little slice of life is so good. Right? Like, he's iconic villain.
Yes. Before Kira came along, Dio was my favorite. But then when I saw Kira, I was just like, man, I love his design. I love his character. And I was like, I got to cosplay Kira one day. And I was so excited when I finally cosplayed as him.
Great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, part 4 is my favorite. I love part 4.
Well done.
And like you said, the slice of life, it's just a mystery. That's all it is. I love it. It's like, because when it comes to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the adventure for part 4 is just them trying to solve a mystery. And that's why I really love part 4. So I got to ask you, you already said it. You answered one of my questions. You said that Josuke is your favorite JoJo.
Yeah, he is. I adore him so much. I think he has that fun kind of whimsical side that you kind of get with Joseph, but he's not quite as carefree. He's still very smart. He thinks through his actions a lot. He found Kira again, and he was just. I think he was great. I think he's a really well written JoJo. And
you also said that Kira was your favorite villain.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite villain?
See, part of me is I do adore Diablo. I love Doppio. I love Diablo, but I just think Kira is he's just a regular guy. You've got Dio, who's a vampire. Diablo's a mob boss. And then there's Kira, who's just some guy who's a serial killer who happened to get a stand. And that's what makes him so scary to me. I think he's just he's just some dude, basically.
Yeah, he got luck.
He wants to live a normal life.
Yup. And the only reason why he got defeated was because of a simple mistake. It was fate, and it's like, had he not, set that bag down, everything would have been all right. Man.
Everything would have been fine.
Who's that cosplayer?
It's jjba Cosplay.
So, I got to go back, because you said that part 5 is one of your favorite parts when it comes to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I have a special question for you. This is from a previous guest that I had up here on Who's That Cosplayer, and that's Pharaoh Mans, whose interview that you can check out. It is up here on YouTube. Go and check it out. They're awesome. And then they recently just did a review with me for Stone Ocean. Make sure you check that out as well. So Pharaoh Mans' question for you is, because you love part 5 and you love the OST from part 5, which song is your favorite from the original soundtrack of part 5?
Oh no, that's such a difficult question. Oh man. I mean, I'm gonna out myself here. Bruno's theme, Nella Terenia, it was in my Spotify Wrapped, my top song the past 2 years. So statistics lean that way, but I have to go with Risotto's theme. I think Risotto's theme is so badass, and it just has so much power behind it. I think that's gotta be my answer for that.
Okay, and those were good answers, and I love Bruno's theme. But it's a toss-up between Bruno's theme and the theme that plays when Giorno finally becomes the head of the mafia. And that song is just so powerful. It's like when I see it in meme videos or TikTok videos, it's just who was it? Okay, so I had interviewed Tequila Joestar, whose interview that y'all can check out. It is up here on YouTube and whatnot. And I had told them after the interview, I was just yeah, man, I really love to meet people who I've interviewed up here on Who's That Cosplayer, or who I've interviewed on my podcast. And they had said, they were just yeah, well, you've met my partner before. And I was just your partner? And they were just yeah, they cosplayed as Yukiko. And I was just Yukiko? I don't think about it. And then I was thinking, and then all of a sudden my jaw dropped, and I was just, the song played when Giorno became the head of the mafia. So whenever something dramatic happens, that's the song that always plays. Dun 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 dun. So yeah, but yeah. So thank you, Pharaoh, for giving me that question to ask you. Yeah, and they said that too. They said, they was just that's gonna stoop them when you ask them.
He knows how much I adore that soundtrack, and we're constantly just talking about like we listened when we were watching Stone Ocean. I'd kind of be like, hey, during this moment, isn't that Prosciutto's theme that's playing right now, or isn't that the Squadra theme? And like just bouncing that back and forth.
Yeah, man, that's always awesome. I love like having friends where it's like you can just talk about JoJo stuff, and it's just like, yeah, like I get that reference, or I know what's going on. And I know that you guys, y'all had went to a con together. Now, was that y'all's first time meeting each other, or were y'all already friends before y'all cosplayed together at the con?
So we met through TikTok. His content came up on my feed. I kind of spoke to him through live streams and stuff. We got speaking on Discord. But when we went to that convention together, it was the first time we met in person, and we just, we clicked. It was a really great time to get to meet him, get to hang out. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that is one of the things that I love about cons, because it's like you said, y'all met on TikTok. There's people, Mar does cosplay, which y'all can check out their interview. It is up here on YouTube. I stay plugging all the interviews, but when I interviewed them, they lived in California. Then they ended up moving over here to South Carolina, and there was a con coming up, and I was just like, yo, it's time for us to finally meet each other. So from Virginia to South Carolina, it was like a 6-hour drive. And I drove down there. I was Jotaro, part 6, and then they were Jolene, and
that's so cool.
Their brother was Jonathan, and it was just such a fun time. And that's one cool thing that I love about going to cons, is like you meet people that you've never met in person. You've only been talking online, and you met Farrell online, and then y'all had a fun time at the con. So I got to ask you, what have been, some of your favorite moments from going to a convention?
So that was actually my first convention, my first and only. I've not even been to one since. Especially one where I was cosplaying. I went to one when I was a lot younger, but it was just kind of a quick walk around. But that was my first it was my first time cosplaying outside my bedroom, pretty much. So it was a really strange experience. But just that kind of, like you say, getting to meet these people that like I'd recognize from online and be like, oh my gosh, I've seen your Giorno, I've seen your Jotaro. Like, it's so cool to actually get to see you in person. And it was also a really fun but strange experience when people would come up to you and kind of say, hey, can I get a picture like with you? And I'm like, me? I'm just here putting my little costumes on. Like, you want a picture with me? Are you sure? So that was a really nice experience. And like the con itself wasn't organized the best, but literally just hanging out with the people and chilling with these amazing cosplayers was just so much fun.
Yeah, and I love that. I 100% agree with you. Like when you were saying about like getting pictures and stuff at con, I always find it funny because most people here in the Virginia area, when it comes to conventions, they know me as the Jotaro cosplayer, because it's like I'm the only person that does. There is somebody else that does a Part 4 Jotaro cosplay, but I have like the jacket and the hat, so it's just like I just kind of feel like, yeah, I'm the Part 4 Jotaro, and I do Part 6, and then this person also does Part 6 as well, and like that's how we met. Because when I went to the con, I was just like, yeah, I'm the only Part 6 Jotaro here, and it was just so funny because then I looked to the left of me, and they were just sitting there leaning on the balcony, and I was just like, another Part 6 Jotaro, like
that little Spider-Man meme where you're pointing at each other.
Yeah,
like,
that's exactly what happened. I was just like, man, I literally thought I was gonna be the only Part 6 Jotaro, because what's funny about Jotaro is you really don't see a lot of Part 4s or Part 6 Jotaros at conventions. Yeah, you'll see Part 3s. Like, you really don't see that. So like that's why I love being Part 4 and Part 6, because it's like it's a different variety. But I know that this story is kind of long-winded, but it's just funny because people know me as Jotaro. But when I cosplay as Deku, or when I did my Kisame cosplay, even when I was Kira, people were just like, yeah, do the Jotaro pose. I'm just like, I'm not Jotaro right now. That's cool. So no, it's just funny. But no, that's another reason why I love cosplaying. And you said that was your first and only convention. Do you have any conventions that are coming up? I know the year is coming to an end, but next year, do you have a list of conventions that you want to go to?
So I'm looking to, Feral Mans and I are both looking to hit that con again next year. Nice. That'll be a nice little kind of like a year since we met type thing. And then I really want to hit, I'm from the UK, so like I want to hit some of the UK conventions, see what they're like, see what the vibe is here. to hit something a bit closer to home rather than
Yeah.
having to hold my cosplays on an airplane and such. So I don't have, other than Anime North next year, I don't have any specifics lined up, but that's the one. That's what I'm
That's
excited
nice.
for. I'm already planning for it. It's like 6 months ahead, and I'm like, these are the ones I'm looking to take.
That's awesome, man. And I think it's awesome too, because I'm trying to think if I've had guests up here that live in the UK, but I don't think that I've interviewed a cosplayer. No, I have interviewed a cosplayer. Yeah, you're the second cosplayer. I had to really think, because it's like I'm coming up on almost 100 episodes of Who's That Cosplayer, and that's one of the things that I love about this series as well, is that like I interview cosplayers from all over the world, because cosplay is one thing that we love. And with that being said, because we're getting close to the end of the interview, I gotta ask you, what are some future cosplays that you have coming up? I know Anasui is a new one that you're doing, and you're debuting up here on Who's That Cosplayer, which I'm honored, because it's an awesome cosplay. You're welcome. So like, what are some other cosplays that you have coming up?
So I have Malone that I'm very close to finishing. I got to tweak his wig a little bit, and Black Friday just happened, so I went spending a little bit, and I got some. I got a Nobara from Jujutsu Kaisen,
Nice.
Elizabeth from BioShock, Sophie from Howl's Moving Castle. I got a few. I'm trying to branch out. I adore JoJo. Don't get me wrong. I'll always stick to my JoJo roots. I'm trying to branch out and hit a couple other things as well, but I'm always going to come back to JoJo.
I love that, and it's so hard, because it's just like you have those certain JoJo cosplays that you do, and then it's just like I'm just like, okay, well, I know I do Jotaro, and I just did Kira, and I'm just like, well, what do I want to do next? Caesar has always been one cosplay that I really wanted to do, because I love Caesar, and how I want to do the cosplay, I want to walk around with like a giant cross on my back. When it fell on. I know.
In the feels.
I know.
Oh,
I know. I'm one of those guys. Like, somebody had commented on my video on TikTok earlier. It was Stardust, who is somebody that I interviewed, and you can check out their interview too. And I used Roundabout in the video, and they were just like, "Oh, like this is so mean to use Roundabout." And I was just like, well, look, I'm sorry. How about I give you a donut? I'm that type of person.
Yeah,
I'm that type of person.
Totally,
Hey, unless you watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you wouldn't get that reference. So we're here at the end of the interview. Final question I got to ask you, Moody. The Great Gingerbread War, it passed. We both survived. But we're coming to the end of the year, and I got to know, what is one of your favorite holiday movies that you enjoy to watch every holiday? Well, around Christmas. I gotta make sure I specify.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to start any debates here and start bringing up, whether Die Hard's a Christmas movie or anything
It
like
is.
that.
It is.
I think it is. Bruce Willis says it's not. I think it is. I'm terrible. I'm a festive person, don't get me wrong. I love The Grinch. I think it's so much fun. I think Jim Carrey is incredible. It's such a funny movie. It's one that I watched as a kid, and I still think it holds up as being just as funny now.
It does.
So The Grinch is probably one that I go back to quite a lot.
Okay. And I think that was a good choice. And it's crazy because I was literally just talking with my friend about like which Grinch movie is the best, because I love the original Grinch movie, but then it's just like he loves the Jim Carrey one, and I like the Jim Carrey one too, but I haven't seen the newest one that came out a couple of years ago.
Either.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, every Grinch movie.
Judgment on it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like every Grinch movie is for a different generation. So
yeah.
With that being said, Moody, thank you so much for joining me up here on Who's That Cosplayer. Thank you for coming up here and being like one of the final guests before we get to the end of the year, and the universe resets. So
yeah, don't remind me.
So with that being said, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
So you can find me on TikTok and Instagram. It's the same handle for both. It's Moody_Macabre, and that's where I'll be posting all my new cosplays and my new ventures and stuff.
Awesome. I love that. Hey, y'all make sure that y'all go and support Moody on all of their social media accounts. And if you watch this interview, you let them know that, hey, I checked out the interview and I thought you were really awesome. I thought Santa Banks was awesome. And y'all were my last favorite parts before the universe reset. And you know where you can find me, your hero Santa Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you, everybody, for watching this interview. Make sure you check out some more interviews we have here on the channel, along with reviews and reaction videos. Check out our podcast, where we have brand new episodes every Tuesday. The link is down below in the description, and then the video of that episode is up here on YouTube on Friday if we did have an interview. And with that being said, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next year. Thank you again for watching this, and we'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.